Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Colossians, the 3rd chapter. If ye then be risen with Hamashiach, seek those things which are above, where Hamashiach sitteth on the right hand of God. See, so if you've risen into that newness of life with Yahweh Shai through his sacrifice, then seek those things, right? Seek the things from above. Seek the things in which that will give you that salvation. The things that the Lord has left us in the gospel that we preached unto you. Seek those. Set your affection on things above, not on the earth, not on worldly things, not on the touch this and don't touch that and do this to your body and don't do that. It's okay. That's that's part of being on the earth, but that's not what's gonna save your soul, right? That's not what's gonna give you salvation. For ye are dead, and your life is hid with Hamashiach in God. And what he means by that is, we died to this world, okay, but our new life is hid with Hamashiach in God. So our true life in Yahweh Shai is hid to the world. It's concealed, but it will be publicly unveiled when Yahweh Shai comes back. So, for example, that's why we talk about, like, you got the Clark Kent and the Superman. So really who we are in the spirit is hidden to this world. In fact, even if you tell them, majority of people you tell, you're a prophet, they're not going to believe that. Because they don't see the spiritual positions or life that we have in Yahweh Shai. To the world, you're just Tom or Billy or Michael or Jamal or whatever your name is, Derek. Derek the construction worker. Or Michael the chef. That's what you are. But in the spirit, in Yahweh Shai, you're I can't even think of some names, but you're some Hebrew name, and you're in whatever position the Lord's put you in. You might be somebody heavy in the spirit, a prophet, but that's hidden. That's hidden to this world. It says, when Hamashiach, who is our life, shall appear, then shall ye also appear with him in glory. See, because that's when the Lord is going to reveal our life that was hidden in him, the hidden works that we did, so to speak. It's all going to be revealed onto glory, in glory. Okay? The world is going to see who are the, because the elect, the 144,000, to the world, they're not reverenced as such. They're not. But when Yahweh Shai comes back, along with the rest of the elect, right, the 144,000 and the rest of the elect, they're going to be recognized. The Lord is going to show forth that hidden life to the world in glory. Mortify, therefore, your members which are upon the earth. Mortify means to put it out, to kill it, kill the members, and he's gonna describe a few, right? The things like the deeds of the flesh, kill it. Fornication, right? Physical and spiritual. Uncleanness, inordinate affection. Inordinate affection. Let's go into that. Your affection is on some pretty sick things, right? It says here, a feeling which the mind suffers. In the New Testament, in a bad sense, depraved passion, vile passions. Okay. Moles, they got inordinate affection. They're passionate on vile things. Okay. Even evil concupiscence and covetousness, which is idolatry. Let's go into that. Concupiscence, desire, craving, desire, lust. Okay, so you're lusting for evil things. And let's go into the word covetousness. Greedy, desire to have more. Avarice, the worship of false gods, because that's the way that it's related is that's not a practice of the Lord. The Lord doesn't teach us to be covetous. Okay, these are all things that are deeds of the world or of some other god that is not the Lord. The scriptures even talk about how you have some who their God is their belly. So long story short, you're following after the the deeds or the instructions or serving one that isn't the Lord, which is idolatry, whether it's yourself, whether it's a physical carved out idol, whether it's your desires. It says, for which things sake the wrath of God cometh on the children of disobedience. It's because of these things: fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, concupiscence. It's because of these traits, these members, that the wrath of the Lord comes upon the children of disobedience. Because these things are unseemly. These things are against the Lord, and he will judge you for it. In the which ye also walked some time when ye lived in them. Yeah, in the past, right before coming to the belief of Yahweh Shai, you used to do these things. That's what Paul was telling them. You didn't know any better, right? This is how you lived when you lived in them. But now ye also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. These are all things that are not deeds of the Spirit. These are not deeds of followers of Yahweh Shai. So put that. When he says anger, it doesn't mean that if you believe in the Lord, you'll never get angry, but it's what you do from that anger. So when he says anger, he's talking about, the scriptures say, be angry and sin not. This is be angry and sin. That's the kind of anger he's talking about. Okay. This is the let the sun go down on your wrath kind of anger. Lie not one to another. Don't deceive one another, seeing that ye have put off the old man with his deeds. Those are traits of you being in the world. But that's not the case. So you ought to be honest, right? Not deceiving one another, and have put on the new man, which is renewed in the knowledge after the image of him that created him, who is who? Yahushai. So your mind is renewed, patterned, or patented after Yahushai. So you have to live in that mindset. Put on the mind of Yahushai, where there is neither Jew nor Greek, circumcision nor uncircumcision, barbarian, Scythian, bond nor free, but Hamashiach is all and in all. So what does that mean? Does that mean that all of a sudden, if you were uncircumcised, you just got nothing? No. What it means is those things don't matter. Okay? Whether you were raised as a Jew in the circumcision, or raised as an Israelite foreigner, or raised, as an Israelite that was living like a Gentile, okay, or raised speaking Greek, or raised not speaking Greek, or raised like a barbarian, or raised not like a barbarian, or you were a slave, or you weren't a slave. That all doesn't matter in Yahweh Shai. So you will not, nobody's going to look at you like, oh, you were a slave. All right, so, don't come near me or something like that. No, you're still a brother in Yahweh Shai. You're a believer. So you're a citizen of heaven, and you're treated as such. You're entitled to all those rights as a citizen of heaven. Put on, therefore, as the elect of God, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering. See, so he said, put off these things and put on these things. Like if they were clothes, put them on you. Exhibit these things, you demonstrate these traits amongst yourselves, right? Being merciful, kind to another, humble, meek, being long suffering, not quick to wrath, not quick to condemn, forbearing one another, right? Bearing long with one another, and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Hamashiach forgave you, so also do ye. So you got a problem, something happens, a disagreement, forgive each other. Yahweh forgave you, you forgive the next brother. And above all these things, put on charity, which is the bond of perfectness. Charity is what locks you into perfectness, is what he means, right? So let's go into that word charity. It's more than just giving your clothes to the poor. But it says here, affection, goodwill, love, benevolence, brotherly love. And this is a big umbrella that a lot of kind acts fall under. And being charitable allows you to be brotherly. It allows you to fulfill a lot more of the responsibilities of a believer when you are charitable, or when you have a charitable spirit. it's easier to not have an evil eye to your brother. It's easier to forgive your brother. It's easier to sacrifice for your brother because you have a charitable spirit. So that's why it's likened onto the bond of perfectness. And let the peace of God rule in your hearts. See? So rather than anger, malice, selfishness, pride, let the peace of God be what rules in your minds. Let that be what drives your decisions. To the which also ye are called in one body, which is Yahushai, and be ye thankful. See? Know what you're a part of, remember why you were called, and live up to that standard and be thankful. Let the word of Hamashiach dwell in you richly in all wisdom. So how do you let it dwell in you richly? You don't restrict it by trying to do evil deeds, right? By having a problem with flourishing in the deeds of righteousness. No, you allow it to change you for the better. You don't try to cling on to the worldly side of you. When you're in a conflict as to whether to be spiritual or carnal, be spiritual. As to whether to forgive or not, or to condemn, forgive. That allows Yahushai to dwell richly, continuously abounding within you in all wisdom, teaching and admonishing one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual songs, singing with grace in your hearts to the Lord. Because these all promote spiritual growth. They also promote bonding. And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Yahushua Hamashiach, giving thanks to God and the Father by him. See? So whatever you do it in the name of the Lord. It'll be blessed. It'll be holy. Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands, as it is fit in the Lord. Husbands, love your wives, and be not bitter against them. See? So wives, submit to your husbands. Be practical about it, but submit to your husbands. Husbands, love your wives. Don't be bitter against them. Don't treat them like shit. All right. Be loving. Like if Yahushua treated you like you treat your wife, how would you feel about it? Look at that, because that's what Paul compared in I believe it was Philippians or Ephesians. He said, love them like Yahushua has loved the church. So the way you treat your wife, think about it. If Yahushua treated you like that, would you be happy? If so, cool. Then treat her like that. If not, then think about how you would want Yahushua to treat you. It says here, children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well pleasing unto the Lord. That is physically and also your spiritual parents, right? We having spiritual parents are likened onto spiritual children. So verse 20 and 21 apply, right, on the physical level and also on the spiritual level. Fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. See, don't and that's through like how you treat them, because sometimes you have certain parents, whether physical or spiritual, and it's like you don't want to be tyrannical, because then rather than nurturing and raising up through proper discipline, you create resentment, right? You create that anger, and it makes it harder to connect. And you're rather than growing the spirit, all right, and training up said individual, whether it's your actual physical child or your spiritual child, one that you may be overseeing in the truth, you're causing them to go in another way that you may not see, which is actually not good for their growth. As it says, lest they be discouraged. Let's go into that word discouraged. To be disheartened, dispirited, broken in spirit. And now you achieve the opposite of what you were supposed to be trying to do, which is to make them stronger and grow in the spirit. Servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh, not with eye service as men pleasers, right? So here Paul is saying, and he's saying this because when you do these things, even to people in the world, based on the role and position you're in, it speaks well of the gospel. It speaks well of the church. That damn, like anybody I've heard that follows this practice or this belief, they're always so like they do everything well. You know, oh yeah, 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 one of my servants, he's one of my best servants. You know, oh yeah, 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 my husband, yeah, he's into that thing, and I'm speaking from the perspective of a woman now. Calm down. You know, he's into that thing, and yeah, he's just been, you know, so that gives a good, you know, appearance, you know, and it doesn't leave room to be evil spoken of. As it says here, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh, because you know you had some believers that weren't free men; they were slaves, they were servants. Now with eye service, right? So not doing what you're supposed to do only when they're looking, right? As men pleasers to please them, to make them happy, and then when they leave, you're just like, whatever. But in singleness of heart, fearing God. So do it sincerely, fearing the Lord, because He's looking upon what you're doing. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily. Do it with your whole heart, as to the Lord and not unto men. Think of it like you're serving the Lord, like you're doing it for the Lord. Because yes, the situation may be, well, but that's a that's like of the flesh. That's a, you know, that's your carnal master. Why you got to do it heartily? But it's what it says about you to the Lord. It's what it shows the Lord about how you have changed, having received the grace from the Lord. It's not always about the other party. Sometimes the Lord is just evaluating you. Something bad happens to you, you retaliate. The Lord might not care about the fact that you were triggered or you were hit first. He wants to see what you do because it tells him about your character. Knowing that the Lord, Oslake 23, and whatsoever ye do, do it heartily, as to the Lord and not unto men. Knowing that of the Lord ye shall receive the reward of the inheritance. For ye serve Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. So keep that in mind. So whatever you do, do it with your whole heart, as if you're doing it unto the Lord, keeping in mind that He's going to reward us. But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he hath done. And there is no respect of persons. The Lord is not going to say, oh, you know, I like you, so I ain't no. You got to have the mindset that if you do wrong, you're going to receive for that wrong. So do right. And that brings us to the end of the book of Colossians, the 3rd chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. And until next time, Shalom.